Alright, well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I forgot the GoPro, so I'm recording on my phone. I want to show you just what we're doing here. So this is some rye stubble, and you can see there's some weeds in it. I'll take care of them later. But I decided I wanted to conduct an experiment this year. So Dad has, he typically in the past has planted soybeans. So there's barley beans right there. Here's the rye. But since rye comes off late July, like next week will be August, the soybeans don't yield very well. Rye beans are almost a lost cause, but for the price of beans, Dad justifies it. So we're conducting a little bit of an experiment here, and we're going to try a crop called buckwheat. So apart from, this is a half an acre plot. It's a steep hill. Nobody wants to farm it. I said to Dad, hey, you know, Dad's on vacation. I said, hey, let me use this hillside. It's a wasted little piece of dirt for you for the, you know, for the next 6 weeks basically, till we plant, when these beans come off and we plant rye here again as a cut. Like, we just put rye here because we did some excavating, and so this will actually get rye again, because these barley beans will get rye, and the corn down there will get it will get barley next year. We rotate these crops. And then there's a little tobacco strip out. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, so I said, let me put some of this buckwheat in. So, just for experimental purposes. So, a little bit of background for you guys. Buckwheat will mature in approximately 6 weeks. I got an organic variety because that's all they had. It's a VNS, which means variety not stated, because they own the rights to the other fancier stuff. So if you want to see it, so this is what the buckwheat looks like. A little triangular, but it's known as a smother crop because it grows so fast it smothers the weeds and stuff. Now these weeds are already established, so I need to address that. But if you had clean ground and you planted it, nothing's going to come up but that buckwheat. So we're going to experiment. We're going to see what we get. It just rained 6/10 of an inch last night. If you look carefully, you can't tell from the video, but there's some corn that's like leaning really hard. It was windy at about 3 a.m. We got 6/10 of an inch. So because I don't feel like hooking up the grain drill, we're going to spread it on the wet ground. And then I'm just going to take a roller and just roll it. I'm not going to roll it this morning, but I want to get it on the wet ground now. We'll roll it when the ground gets a little bit more solid. I don't want to cause compaction issues. And you can see my tracks. So we're going to see what happens. This is a fun experiment. It does not have a lot of feed value. You can chop it as a forage. It's low quality, but it produces a lot of biomass and not a lot of time. But what we're going to do, because it's VNS, we can actually try to attempt to combine this crop. We're going to try it this fall. Get a crop off of this in this short 6 week period right here almost in August. So let's see what happens. Thank you guys thanks for watching. Another thing with this buckwheat is it will germinate in 3 to 5 days. So that's why I thought, hey, Mom and Dad just left and we got plenty of moisture. So I would expect to see this by the middle of next week turning green. I mean, it's an incredibly fast growing crop, and it'll grow probably to my waist by the end of August. I mean, it is a quick crop, so it's kind of intriguing to me. But it cost me about $100 for the seed, so it's a cheap experiment. Well, as it is an experiment, our equipment is not exactly up to snuff. Even with it closed up all the way, if you look right there, the door closed all the way, it still runs out. So I didn't even get my whole field planted, or this whole piece. But I think the population is quite high. Like here's one. So I don't know, there's some other grain here that's probably going to come up with it. Volunteer. It's very densely populated, but what I'll do, like I said, I will roll this in. However, I do not want to roll it as wet as it is. I was sliding sideways out here. It's way steep for that tractor to be going, but hey, this is an experiment. We're just learning here, so, and having fun. But there's plenty of buckwheat. There's one. Yeah, there's here, here. There's plenty of buckwheat laying around. So basically I made it, let me zoom out again. Hold on. I went out and back, shut the spinner off and thought I'd go out and go up the hill because I didn't want to go down the hill at the steep spot. Till I got out there, it ran out the bottom of the thing. So it is what it is. But it's an experiment, so it doesn't really cost us anything more than our seed cost and our time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see what happens, stay tuned for later in the season when we try, or when I don't even know, maybe it won't come up, but stay tuned, see what happens. So now we are just running the roller right over the top of this stuff, very, very carefully to not roll the tractor. And yeah, we're just gonna roll this stuff in. The ground is solidified a fair bit.